We will begin with some simple breathing exercises. Set a chair on top of your sticky mat with the seat of the chair facing you. Lie on your back, resting the backs of your lower legs on the chair. Use a folded blanket to support your head. Allow your arms to rest away from your sides, rolling the muscles of the upper arms underneath you, and let the shoulders release away from your ears. Close your eyes and allow your body's weight to drop into the floor beneath you. Relax the lower jaw, allowing it to slide back and create space between the upper and lower jaw. Feel the inside of your mouth open with the lips still touching. Let the muscles and the skin of the face deliberately relax, and notice how the softening of your face affects the relaxation of your entire body. Bring your attention to the tip of your nostrils and feel the cool inhale coming in and the warm exhale going out. Maintaining your sense of relaxation, see if you can find the area where the breath moves most in your body. Perhaps you feel it in your belly or your chest. Discover the movement of the inhale and the exhale in your body, and begin to follow this movement with your awareness. There is no need to alter the breath or manipulate its volume. You only need to be aware of how you're breathing in this moment. Just see if you can catch the movement of the breath and follow it. Now sense if you can feel the breath's movement in your belly. Each time you inhale, allow for a gentle rise to occur, and each time you exhale, allow for a gentle fall to occur. Now allow the movement in the belly to travel toward the ribs. Each time you inhale, allow a gentle rise to occur at the belly, and then notice a natural lift and spreading of the ribs. Each time you exhale, allow the belly and the ribs to gently fall. Now allow the movement in the belly and ribs to travel toward the chest. Each time you inhale, allow for a gentle rise to occur at the belly, then the ribs, then the chest. And each time you exhale, allow for the belly to gently fall and the ribs and chest to follow. Continue to follow this vertical breath, lifting belly, ribs, and chest on the inhale. releasing belly, ribs, and chest on the exhale. If you find yourself getting distracted, simply follow your distractions back to your breath. Now allow your interest to return back to your belly only. Oftentimes in yoga, our belly is referred to as our center. Exchange the rise and fall movement at your center for a spreading and settling motion. Each time you inhale, allow your breath to spread away from your center. Each time you exhale, allow for the breath to return and settle at your center. Now that you've exchanged your vertical breathing pattern for a more global breathing pattern, sense what you feel like as the natural breath draws you away from your center to the periphery of your body, and then softens back into your center. Keep breathing and feeling. There's no need to purposefully puff the belly on your inhale or deliberately hollow your belly out on your exhale. See if you can use the least amount of effort and simply allow the breath to spread and settle organically. Imagine the inhale spreading out in all directions, feeding into all the limbs, and the exhale releasing your limbs back into your center to settle and soften again. Now allow your interest to rest at the bottom of the exhale. See if you can feel for a moment or two the pause that occurs before the inhale. This is the resting point. There's no race to get to the next breath, but there is also no need to intentionally hold your breath. Just bring your awareness to this empty space and allow yourself to do nothing. If you find yourself resting in the pause, do not force the inhalation, but rather remain relaxed. It's almost as if the arrival of the next inhale comes as a surprise. And then once again, follow the spreading sensation of the inhale and the settling sensation of the exhale. For the next few minutes, just explore feeling and breathing. Know that no two breaths are alike. Now allow simple movement to stir through your body and gently take your legs off of the chair, rolling them in toward your chest. Stretch your right arm over your head and roll to the right side of your body and continue resting. Using your hands, push yourself up and come into a comfortable seated position with your eyes closed. See if you can feel the spreading and settling sensation in your body again. It might be a little more challenging now that you're upright. No need to be concerned. Keep a relaxed attitude and continue to stay present. As your mind grows more calm, you give the breath permission to grow. And as the breath grows, so will your awareness. You are now ready to proceed with your day. You may stop the tape or continue on for asana practice. Cat-dog tilts. To cushion your knees, fold a blanket and place it down on your mat. Come to an all-four position with your hands placed directly underneath your shoulders, shoulder-width distance apart, and bring your knees directly underneath your hips, hip-width distance apart. Stretch your fingers and equally distribute the weight from your shoulders into your hands and fingers. There may be a tendency to roll to the outer edges of your hands, so press between the thumb and forefinger so that the whole surface area of the hand is engaged. Press the tops of your feet on the ground and stretch into the length of your toes. Notice the power of your shoulders. You can either sink into them, drawing them up into your ears, or push out of them. In this first warm-up, we'll want to use them in a way that does not sink or collapse the shoulders, but also does not make them rigid. You will keep the arms straight, but the shoulders will fall away from your ears. Bring your awareness back to your breath. And on your next exhalation, curl your tailbone under, round the spine, and let the head follow by tucking your chin into your chest. Gently stretch the back of your neck. On your next inhalation, lift your tailbone and let your belly and chest stretch up and look up. Check back in with your body to make sure your shoulders are still away from your ears. Again, on your exhale, curl your tailbone under and round your spine, letting your head follow, tucking your chin into your chest. When you inhale, lift the tailbone, let the belly, chest, and head follow the upward stretch. Once more, exhaling, curling your tailbone under, letting the spine round, letting the head follow, tucking your chin into your chest. And letting the inhalation lift the tailbone, the belly, the chest, and the head follow the upward stretch. Come into a neutral position. Balasana, child's pose. Stretch your hips down toward your feet, sinking the hips down as low as they can comfortably go. Rest your forehead on the floor and your arms alongside your body. If your hips are more than 5 or 6 inches away from your heels, consider stacking your fists one on top of the other, with your elbows bent to the sides, shoulders away from your ears. Rest your forehead on the top hand. This can provide you with a little more elevation for your head until the muscles of the hips and the lower back begin to open up. Don't give up. Eventually your hips will find themselves resting on your heels. Please come to an upright position for our first standing posture, Tadasana, mountain pose. Stand with your feet together, inner heels and sides of the big toes touching so that your toes are pointing forward. Lift up the toes and stretch from the back of the arch of the foot to the tip of the toes. Move back and forth from the front of the feet to the back of the feet until you discover a point where you are distributing your weight equally on all 4 corners of the feet. Gently hug the muscles of the legs into the bones, feeling all 4 sides of the legs come into the midline of your legs. Keep this sensation without locking your knees back. Let your tailbone drop down toward the floor and the sides of the hips move into the midline of your pelvis. Stand tall and upright in your legs. Perhaps you will feel as though your 2 legs are merging into one. These are your Tadasana legs. Feel for the phases of the breath that feeds your legs into the ground without collapsing into your feet. Keep your interest in your lower body for a few moments, feeling, breathing, and sensing the grounding qualities of Tadasana pose. Now, to ensure that the torso does not fall into the legs, which would cause your lower back to collapse, draw the sides of the waist up and out of the hips. Without puffing the chest, allow the sides of the chest to broaden and the shoulders to roll back and down, resting the shoulder blades down on the back of the body. Let the arms rest down alongside the legs, stretching the fingertips down toward the floor. Allow the chest to remain open and relaxed, and let the head rest right on the top of the spine so that the chin is not protruding forward or collapsing in toward the chest. Soften the gaze in your eyes and open to the periphery around you. Sense for the phase of the breath that supports a grounding feeling in your legs, and a phase of the breath that supports a rebounding effect to open the front of the body and lengthen the spine. Sense if you're collapsing or locking the body in any way, and notice if you might be restricting or forcing the breath in any way. When you relax into the breath, you create an even quality in the pose. Keep breathing and feeling. Mountain pose teaches us about our habitual postural habits and teaches us how to build a strong foundation. It can help us understand the best alignment for our bones, muscles, and organs, and it serves as a good guide for other standing poses. It might take some time to strengthen your feeling sensibilities. Don't be concerned. With practice, you'll begin to feel steady and secure like a mountain. Now we're ready for Ardha Surya Namaskar A, or Half Sun Salutation A. The sun salutations are a great way to improve overall flexibility. At first, it might seem awkward to get your movements to match your breath. Do your best. As your body continues to open from consistent practice, your breath will naturally deepen and lengthen. Soon, you will feel the healing benefits of synchronizing your movements with your breath. To make it easy, we'll break the salutation down. Starting in a wide-legged Tadasana, by stepping your feet hip-width distance apart. Bring your palms to touch at your chest, resting your thumbs just below your sternum in Namaste. Keep your shoulders down and relaxed and your elbows stretching equally to opposite sides. On an inhalation, stretch your hands away from your chest and draw them down alongside the hips and then out to the side walls. Follow your movement with a soft gaze, turning the palms up toward the sky as you stretch the arms up alongside your head. On an exhalation, turn the palms face down, stretching the arms out and then down again, finally bringing the hands back to your chest at Namaste. Now bring your hands to your hips. On an inhalation, lengthen out of your foundation, stretching your spine up. On an exhalation, keep engaging your Tadasana legs. Stretch forward with an extended spine, lifted abdominals, keeping your hips right over your ankles. Let your knees bend so that your belly and chest come right up against your thighs. Grab a hold of your calves or ankles to stretch your spine forward and down. Let your elbows bend to the sides and tuck your chin to gently stretch the back of your neck. On an inhalation, slide your hands to the front of your shins and stretch your arms straight, arching your upper back, letting your chest follow the direction of the lift. On an exhalation, grab a hold of your calves or ankles to stretch your spine forward and down. Let your elbows bend to the sides and tuck your chin to gently stretch the back of your neck. Bring your hands back to your hips. On an inhalation, use your grounded Tadasana legs while lifting your abdominal muscles as you move with a flat spine back up into an upright position. Let's do it one more time. On an inhalation, lengthen out of your foundation, stretching your spine up. On an exhalation, bend the knees, drawing your spine all the way down over the legs, letting the arms come down to hold on to the ankles or shins. On an inhalation, drawing the arms to straight again, rolling the shoulders away from the ears and arching the upper back. On an exhalation, bending at the elbows, drawing the spine forward and down, tucking the chin in toward the chest. On the inhalation, pushing into your Tadasana legs, hands to the hips, lifting the spine up and flat. Let's put this variation of the sun salutation together. Whether you're moving forward and down or back to an upright position, have a sense of your spine and center. Try not to hold your body stiffly. Allow for the breath to support this movement without force or strain. Starting in a wide-legged Tadasana, bring your palms to touch at your chest, resting your thumbs just below the sternum at Namaste. Keep your shoulders down and relaxed, and your elbows stretching equally to opposite sides. On an inhalation, stretch your hands away from the chest, draw them down alongside your body, out to the side walls, stretching all the way up to the sky. On an exhalation, stretch your arms out to the side walls. Bend at the knees, drawing the spine forward and down, catching your ankles or calves with your hands, tucking the chin in. On an inhalation, stretching the arms straight, arching through the upper back, rolling the shoulders down and away from the ears. On an exhalation, bending the elbows, stretching the spine forward and down, tucking the chin into the chest. On an inhalation, pushing into your Tadasana legs, stretching your arms out to the side walls, reaching the spine and arms up to the sky, looking up. And on the exhalation, stretching the arms to the side walls, reaching them down alongside the body, and resting them back at your chest. Namaste. Let's do it one last time. Beginning at Namaste with your shoulders down and your elbows stretched to the sides. With the inhalation, stretching the arms away from the chest, reaching the arms up, looking up. On the exhalation, stretching the arms to the side walls, bending at the hips, grabbing a hold of the ankles or calves, stretching the spine down and forward, tucking the chin in. On the inhalation, straightening the arms, arching the upper back, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. And on the exhalation, bending at the elbows, stretching the spine forward and down again, tucking the chin. On an inhalation, pressing through the feet, sweeping the arms out to the side walls, stretching up, lifting the spine up, looking up. And on the exhalation, stretching the arms out to the side walls, releasing them down alongside the body, and resting them once again at Namaste. Udhita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Let's practice another standing pose. Please step your feet 4.5 feet apart. See that your heels are in alignment with each other. Turn your left foot in at a 15-degree angle and your right foot forward at a 90-degree angle. Inhale and raise your arms out away from your center, stretching from the sides of the chest to the fingertips without locking your elbows. Imagine that the lungs are helping to feed your arms in opposite directions of one another. Keep breathing and feeling, sensing for the phase of the breath that grounds the legs and builds a strong foundation, and the phase of the breath that allows the arms to open and lengthen. Triangle pose teaches us about balance. It tones the leg muscles and alleviates stiffness in the hips and legs. It's important to remember in this posture that it is not necessary to bring the bottom hand as low as it can go. It's more important to keep integrity in the pelvis and spine by keeping the body in one plane. When you move into this posture, imagine that the body is in between two pieces of paper so that you don't push the tail out behind you or let the belly fall forward, collapsing in the front hip. Keep your legs active by pushing them in opposite directions of one another so that you can feel the legs spreading the mat between you. Feel your Tadasana legs. Gaze out over your right fingertips. Let an inhalation draw the breath out from your center into all limbs. And let an exhalation stretch your right arm forward, letting your left arm roll back, while rolling the right hip under and the left thigh back. Stretching your left arm straight up to the sky. Draw the shoulders down and away from the ears for freedom in the neck. Either keep your soft gaze at the big toe of the front foot, or guide your chin across the front of your chest and draw your gaze up to the top hand. Make sure not to strain the neck. Mentally check your alignment. If your hips and tail are pushing back and your belly is falling forward, you might want to consider drawing your bottom hand up higher on the leg so that you find yourself in one plane again. Try not to put all of your weight on the bottom hand. Allow your hand to have a conversation with the leg so that they are working equally, not one more than the other. Continue to explore the phases of your breath that support your grounding in the legs and those that open the chest and back. Stretch equally without collapsing or locking the body. Especially take note of how you're breathing. Do not restrict or force the breath. And see if you can make the internal adjustments that allow the breath to travel throughout the whole body. Continue breathing and feeling. On your next inhalation, press into your Tadasana legs and reach through both arms equally to come back to an upright position. Pause for a moment, sensing what's happening now. Prepare for the opposite side. Please turn your right foot in at a 15-degree angle and your left foot forward at a 90-degree angle. Inhale and raise your arms out away from your center, stretching from the sides of the chest to the fingertips without locking at your elbows. Again, imagine that the lungs are helping to feed your arms in opposite directions of one another. Keep breathing and feeling here, and sensing for the phases of the breath that support your grounding legs. Push your feet in opposite directions again of one another. Find your Tadasana legs. Turn your gaze out over your left fingertips and let an inhalation draw you out of your center without locking the body. Let the exhalation stretch your left arm forward and your right arm back while rolling the left hip under and moving the right thigh back. Just like before, guide your front arm down to rest up against the front leg, while the back arm reaches up to the sky. Let the palm face forward. Remember to draw the shoulders down away from your ears. Draw your gaze gently up to the top hand. Do not strain the neck. Mentally check your alignment and respond calmly but precisely to the changes that you might be experiencing on this side of the body. Keep breathing and feeling. On your next inhalation, press into your Tadasana legs and reach through both arms to come back to an upright position. Pause for a moment, sensing where you are and where your awareness lies. Please step your feet together again and come into Tadasana briefly. Oftentimes, after doing Trikonasana, Tadasana becomes a little more accessible. It can be a useful centering point to return to during your practice. Return to your breath. How has your body changed? How has your breath changed? Continue breathing and feeling. Let's prepare for the next posture. We'll start by stretching the shoulders, the back muscles, and the hamstring muscles with support from the chair. Face the seat of the chair toward you. Bend at your hips and hold on to the front corners of the chair with your hands. Face your thumbs forward and wrap the rest of the fingers around the bottom edge of the chair. Step your feet about 3.5 to 4 feet from your hands. Your feet are hip-width distance apart, with your toes pointing forward. Keep the front of your hip bones directly over your ankles. Straighten your arms and drop your shoulders down and away from your ears, lining up your ears with the upper arms, so that your head stays right on the top of the spine in relation to your chest. See if you can move the inner underarms away from the side walls and toward the midline of your chest without locking your elbows or sticking out your lower ribs. Keep your legs solid and grounded, whether you need to put a slight bend in the knees or whether you're able to keep them straight. Can you find the phase of the breath that encourages an extended spine? Be present in your whole body and breathe. This preparatory stretch has a lot of pieces to it, but it will help you to understand the posture we're headed toward. Take your time to understand this arm movement. Once you integrate it into your body, it will prevent you from crunching your neck. No doubt by now you're feeling the work in the upper arms, but it will soon be a movement you will look forward to visiting as it provides a great release to the shoulders and spinal column. On an exhalation, draw your hands to your hips. On an inhalation, press into your Tadasana legs. With lifted abdominals and an extended spine, reach to the crown of your head and come to an upright position. Pause for a moment, sensing how your body feels now. Please step your feet together again and come into Tadasana briefly. Return to your breath. Let's rest in Balasana. Let the shoulders relax, the weight of the hips release. Feeling for the phases of the breath that allow the inhalation to spread you away from your center and the exhalation to release you. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Lift up onto all fours into a table position. Place your hands directly underneath your shoulders and your knees directly underneath your hips at hip-width distance apart, and tuck all 10 toes under. Make sure your fingers are pointing forward and slightly separated. On an exhalation, press into the hands and allow the knees to come up off of the ground, lifting the hips toward the wall behind you, creating a distance of about 3.5 to 4 feet from your fingers to your heels. Keep your arms straight and, using the support of your breath, work the spine long. Shoulders down away from your ears, shoulder blades away from your spine. And allowing the ears to stay lined up with the upper arms. You can keep your knees bent, or straighten the legs slowly, finding Tadasana legs, drawing the legs straighter and straighter, shifting your weight back into both of the legs evenly. Allow for the phases of the breath to help guide your heels toward the floor, still keeping the toes pointing forward and without tightening the skin at the front of the ankles. Remember the work we did with your shoulders and upper arms at the chair? Use the least amount of effort to free the neck by moving your inner underarm muscles away from the side walls and toward the midline of your chest, making sure not to lock your elbows or jut your lower ribs out. Keep breathing and feeling. On your next inhale, lift your heels high up into the air. Then bend your knees and bring them down to the floor while lowering your hips down toward your feet, stretching them down as low as possible. Rest your forehead on the floor and your arms alongside your body. Rest in Balasana. Observe your breath. Observe how you're feeling. Downward facing dog can be a challenging posture. However, its benefits are plentiful. For instance, this posture can refresh the body after a long and exhausting day. It rejuvenates the brain and torso with a fresh supply of blood and oxygen. I love coming to this posture if I've been sitting at the computer for long periods of time. It gives a great stretch to my legs and spine and helps to boost my energy level. After some practice, it will become the perfect antidote after a long day of work. Let's come up and practice this pose one more time. See if you can access your global breathing and allow it to fill out the shape of the pose. See that you are stretching evenly throughout the entire body. Lift up on all fours into a table position. Again, place your hands directly underneath your shoulders and your knees directly underneath your hips, hip width and shoulder width distance apart. Tuck all toes under. On an exhalation, press into the hands and allow the knees to come up off of the ground, lifting the hips toward the wall behind you. Again, keep your knees bent if you like. Otherwise, find your Tadasana legs, stretching the lower legs and the top leg straight. Find the phases of the breath that guide your heels down toward the floor, and keep your shoulders and arms steady and strong. Access your global breathing to support any adjustments you might need to make and proceed mindfully. Keep breathing and feeling. Mentally check your alignment. See that you're working evenly throughout the entire body. On an inhale, lift your heels high up into the air. Then bend your knees and bring them down to the floor while lowering your hips again into Balasana. Observe your breath. Observe the sensations in the body. Observe how you are feeling right in this moment. We're ready to move on. Please carefully line your back with the feet hip-width distance apart, your toes pointing straight ahead, with your heels about 5 to 6 inches away from the hips. Stretch your arms alongside your body, with the palms flat on the floor. We're moving into Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, bridge pose. Bring a strap around the fronts of your ankles, and bring the strap close enough to your hands so that you can grab a hold of the ends. Before we continue, please bring your awareness to your knees. When we raise the back and hips off of the floor, do not let the knees splay out to the sides. Allow them to stay directly over the fronts of the ankles. This will help to support the tendons and ligaments of the knees when elevating our hips. Also, do not clench the buttocks. Consider keeping them firm, but do not squeeze the buttocks tightly or tuck the tailbone strongly. We're ready to move on to the next step. On your inhale, press your shins and calves down to your feet and initiate your lift from the upper back, allowing the sides of the waist and the hips to follow, until the hips are off of the ground about 6 inches. Now draw your shoulder blades underneath the body, rolling the shoulders underneath so that you can generate more of an arch in the upper back, and feel the shoulder blades move deep into the back. Draw your back ribs into your body without disturbing the placement of your shoulders, and keep your shoulders on the ground. From here, see if you can walk your hands down the strap closer to your ankles. Keep breathing and find the phase of the breath that allows you to draw the upper back more vertical. Keep the throat, neck, and shoulders firmly on the ground. As the arch in your upper back gets higher, there might be a tendency to squeeze your chin into the chest. Instead, allow for space here, keeping the chest elevated but soft. Let the breath naturally broaden the lower back, sides of the chest, and collarbones. Keep breathing and feeling. With your next exhalation, release your hands from the strap, adjust your arms into a T position, and roll your spine down vertebra by vertebra. Relax and let your lower back find its way to the ground as gravity and the exhale work together to support the release. The bridge pose is considered to be a partial inversion due to the hips resting higher than the heart. Among many other benefits, practicing inversions can improve circulation. Also, this pose creates a partial back bend, which can help to improve spine and shoulder flexibility. Now step your feet together and let your knees drop to the sides, letting the soles of the feet open up to the sky. If this is too much sensation, slide your feet a little bit further away from your pelvis. We're just using this as a transition to the next posture, but it can help to release any discomfort or tension you might have built in the last pose, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Let's finish here with the reclining twist. With the help of your hands, draw your knees toward each other again until your feet are resting flat on the ground. Stretch your arms out into a T position with your palms flat on the floor. Push your feet into the ground and lift your hips a few inches off the floor and scoot them about 3 inches to the left. Now drop your hips. Keep your arms stretching to the side walls and both shoulders equally into the ground. On an inhalation, pick up your feet. Keep your legs together but your heels away from your hips so that your legs are in a 90-degree angle. And on an exhalation, stretch your bent legs to the right. Don't force your knees to the ground. It's more important to keep both of your shoulders on the ground. If you would like to bring the stretch into your neck, turn your head away from the knees. If you have space between or underneath your legs, you can fill the space with a folded blanket. This will prevent any extreme pulling on the lower back. As you inhale, can you feel the way the pose gently expands and lengthens the spine? Allow for all phases of your breath to gently bring out the shape of this posture. Twists help to massage and tone the kidneys and abdominal organs. When practiced gently, they provide excellent relief to sore back muscles. Keep breathing and feeling. On your next exhalation, press your arms into the ground and draw your legs back into the center with your feet flat on the floor. Wrap your arms around the legs and rock side to side on your spine. Place your feet flat on the floor again with the arms stretched out into a T position. Let's return to this pose on the opposite side. Push your feet into the ground and lift your hips a few inches off the floor and scoot them to the right. Now drop the hips. Keep your arms stretching to the side walls and your shoulders equally in the ground. Lifting the feet, slowly, on an exhalation, allow your knees to drop to the left, keeping your shoulders to the floor. Remember not to force your knees to the ground. Give the same attention to this side as you did the other, watching for the phases of your breath that bring life to this pose. Keep breathing and feeling. If you cannot fit a full hour of yoga into your day, twists can always be practiced by themselves. On your next exhalation, press your arms into the ground and draw your legs back into the center with your feet flat on the floor. Let your lower back settle into the ground with the support of your breath. Wrap your arms around your legs and rock from side to side on your spine. We're ready for the final posture, Shavasana, corpse pose. Please bring your feet back down onto the floor. This is the opportunity to refine our awareness and sink into a deeper feeling of relaxation. Just like when we started, set a chair on top of your sticky mat with the seat of the chair facing you. Lie on your back, resting the backs of your lower legs on the chair. Use a folded blanket to support your head. Allow your arms to rest out away from your sides. Roll the muscles of the upper arms in and let the shoulders roll down and away from your ears. Close your eyes and let your eyes rest back in their sockets. Relax the skin on the forehead and allow it to feel wrinkle-free. Feel the forehead relax, body relax. Relax the skin at the temples. Feel the temples relax, body relax. Relax the skin behind the ears. Feel the ears relax, body relax. Relax the skin of the cheeks. Feel the cheeks relax, body relax. Relax all the muscles of the face. Feel the face relax, body relax. Relax the muscles in the neck. Feel the neck relax, body relax. Relax the muscles in the arms. Feel the arms relax, body relax. Relax the muscles in the back. Feel the back relax, body relax. Relax the muscles in the soft belly, ribs and chest. Feel the belly relax, body relax. Feel the ribs relax, body relax. Feel the chest relax, body relax. Relax the muscles of the hips and pelvis. Feel the hips relax and the pelvis relax, body relax. Relax the muscles of the legs. Feel the legs relax, body relax. Feel the skin relax. Skin relax, body relax, body relax, body relax. Slowly begin to move your fingers and toes. With a relaxed attitude, stretch your arms over your head and reach from your fingers to your toes. Draw the knees into the chest, bringing your arms around the legs and rocking side to side on your spine. Extend the right arm up alongside your head and gently roll over to the right side of the body. Continue resting here. Gently press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. Draw the palms together in front of the chest into Namaste. In kindness and friendship, Namaste. I would like to thank the following for their spirit of kindness, generosity, and support to help make this video. The Planet Yoga students and staff. Script editing, Amanda Ackerman. Hair, Lisa Larson. Makeup, Sean Flint.